The All Seeing Orb of Israel Mossad did everything ever. Guys, if you haven't been on the internet the last few days, well, I don't know how you did that. For the rest of us who've been on the internet, we're jealous of you. And what's been going on is that there's this whole fight going on over Candace Owens and Ian Carroll over the belief that Charlie Kirk's assassination was a giant plot by God knows how many agencies are involved. I mean, they've got the FBI, the Israel and Mossad. They've got Donald Trump, Erica Kirk, Lance Twiggs is apparently some FBI asset at this point. There's like a second shooter now and a third shooter. And here's what I want you to think about. The FBI, we already know, like goes on discords and tries to convince people to actually do shootings. I mean, this is like a known thing. It's almost confirmed at this point. And then you've got recently the FBI actually planned a kidnapping of Gretchen Whitmer. Guys, if they wanted to assassinate Charlie Kirk, why wouldn't they just convince a mentally ill kid on the internet to do it for them? Do we really think that it's some massive conspiracy and they just didn't convince Tyler Robinson to do it for them? Why did they think Tyler Robinson's a patsy? Explain why Tyler Robinson is somehow a patsy and not just the kid they convinced to do it. You look at all of this. Personally, I believe these people are liars, and I think it's a mix of stupid as well. The reality, here's what I want you to think about, is that Candace Owens, she runs a show, and if you don't tune in, she makes no money, and she needs to make money to run her show. If she gave you a simple explanation, you guys wouldn't watch again. But if she has the ever-growing conspiracy theory, then she makes money. It doesn't. None of this actually has to be complex. She's just lying. She's either lying or like severely mentally retarded. I mean, her eyes are too far apart and her nose bridge is missing, which is a sign of fetal alcohol syndrome. So you take your pick. But guys, not everything's a conspiracy theory. There's a lot of people who are retarded out there, and COVID broke a lot of people's brains, but not everything's a conspiracy theory. Sometimes things just happen, okay? You got so much of this shit, and everyone can explain it. If Ben Shapiro's in contact with their security team. I've personally had to be trained to deal with like injuries out in the deep woods. If you have 3 people who've got to deal with someone who's got a broken leg, you go grab sticks and you tie them around the leg to effectively function as the bone, and then you carry them back. And if there's a third guy, he just has to text people. That's all he can do. The reality is that during a scenario where things are on go, everything's snap, 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 snap. You have a lot of downtime. A lot of people don't realize this, but you have a lot of downtime. This doesn't even have to be, a lot of people are saying it's comms. It doesn't even have to be comms. There can be a guy in the other car. It can be the guy in the passenger seat who's not hands-on. It doesn't have to be a massive conspiracy. Not everything's a conspiracy. Sometimes bad things just happen. Sometimes there's no one behind it, but there's crazy people. You see the riots. Do you think the riots are just some massive orchestration? No, they're crazy people. You can argue that, yeah, they're completely brainwashed, and sure, people are interested in brainwashing, but they're not puppets. I mean that literally, not figurative sense. No, they're not being remote controlled or anything like that. Not everything's a conspiracy. But here's what I want you to see. Here's another thing that I really want you to see. Hey, Ben Maybe get back to me when your channel grows a bit. Keep working hard, and I'm sure eventually people will watch your videos, but hang in there. This is from Ian Carroll. In response to Ben Shapiro calling him stupid, Ian Carroll's reaction is to count the views. I want you to ask yourself, how is this pertinent to the conversation? There's a pertinence to the conversation to this man. The reason why he thinks it's pertinent to the conversation is he analyzes the entire conversation through views. He's retarded. It doesn't even have to be a grift. This is the name for this is let me pull it up on screen. Bandwagon fallacy. There we go. It's literally the bandwagon fallacy. Appeal to the masses or I can't even pronounce that. It states that a claim of true or good because simply many people believe it or engaged in it. It doesn't even have to be a lie. He literally just thinks that everyone agrees with it, therefore. Not everything's a conspiracy. I'm letting you draw your own conclusions whether you think these people are lying or simply retarded. That's up to you. I really haven't made up my mind. I don't know what's going on in their heads. But this just keeps on going. These are only posts. I'm pretty sure these are all actually this one's from the 8th. But this one just came today. 8:26 a.m. on July 11th. Israeli settlers brandishing American-made M4s detained me and other Americans on my trip to Palestine. They literally just reported this the other day about Tyler Rivera. They responded to it saying, this is normal procedure when you make a trip to the Israel. They check literally everything because they're in a war. They made a huge mistake. No, dude, you were subject to Israel's normal behaviors. Am I a fan of Israel? No, I don't like them at all. But guys, not everything's a conspiracy. Sometimes things actually do happen. But I'm kind of just ranting at this one, but I want to leave it on this. I saw this from Orrin McIntyre, and this is probably the best way to put it I've seen so far. I've said a lot of people say that the proof for God is go outside, and everyone has their arguments, and these are not the best argument for faith. The best argument for faith is the fact that God has a sense of humor. What happens in the real world, you're thinking, oh, eventually consequences come, or God works in mysterious ways, and I don't know what my cat is doing over there, but he is playing. You're thinking God works in mysterious ways, and the mysterious ways that God works in is that a guy robs someone, slips on a banana peel, and gets locked in their car after they trip and fell and lost their keys because of a banana peel. That's the way God works. And this is the perfect example. If you're a Christian, I hope you enjoyed that one. But this is the perfect example of it. God just has a sense of humor with us, guys. Brutal truth is that Candace is a divine judgment on the conservative movement. They brought her in from the left due to their obsession with the approval of the mainstream, and they plastered her face everywhere because she was female. They elevated her rapidly because of her obsession with winning in the black vote, and they never cared about the quality or sincerity of her beliefs, just the boxes she ticked. That is precisely what happened. And a lot of people are I should have brought them up. A lot of people are calling out Ben Shapiro right now for being the one who hired her and being the one who invested in her, for her to turn out to be totally fucking crazy. She is out of her mind, and she doesn't know what thunder means. She doesn't know that thunder comes from lightning. Every terrible tendency of conservatives who bow to scrap for the approval, who beg to stop being called racist or sexist, will hand the keys of the kingdom to a stranger before elevating their own, who outsources their voice to whatever DEI hire, whose focus tests best with people who know vote for them. It's all President owns. Guys, the truth is you got to stop bowing to the mob, or you're going to get consequences like this every single time. You have to speak your own mind, and you have to stop bowing to them. You'll find out. I can promise you, you'll find out you're actually much more invulnerable than you think. More people agree with you, and more people and all of these woke lefties screeching, they can't stop you. They want to pretend that they can stop you, but they can't stop you. They can't really do anything. So yeah, this is what I want you guys. You guys gotta know this. Not everything's a conspiracy. I can tell you personal stories about snakes being cut in half from 9 millimeters. I have a story. I can't even describe it, but I saw an animal quite literally vaporize in half. And my wording there is accurate. Vaporize in half. Half of it was vaporized. Half of it remained completely unscathed because of a bullet. Bullets do weird things on impact. Not everything's a conspiracy theory. If you want to tell me it's the FBI, FBI's, I don't trust the FBI anyway. Feel free to believe that it's the FBI. But dude, they didn't orchestrate with Mossad or anything like that. We're the most involved they would even bother is to just tell some crazy kid on Discord to do it for them. Everyone knows that they already do this. Stop expecting some massive conspiracy theory. Sometimes things just happen. Hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, mash those buttons till they break your keyboard. Remember, not everything's a conspiracy theory. Catch you all later.